Hello, 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 crossroads witches and other interesting magical beings. I am so blessed today to have another interesting magical being joining me. I have Ashianna. Y'all hear me muttering about our techno mage in the background who keeps the House of Witchcraft running and who fields my questions on why is this not working?
Constantly.
All right, I do want the House of Witchcraft is on her, and today's subject is about the digital land, the matrix. I call it the matrix when we talk about the internet. And when I was doing my notes, because y'all know I got notes, when I was doing my notes, I convinced Ashianna to come up here and shoot a video from her perspective as a techno mage. And we have a little bit of two sides of the sidewalk on this conversation, because we have a lot of old school people who say you do not post things on the internet. It's evil. And then we have these techno mages who are using the internet as a conduit for their magic.
Absolutely. And both are right.
Right, yeah. And that's the part that gets confusing, because you're like, what? No, both are correct according to your magic. You know, and we all, old school and new school, you know, that should I post my magic? When do I? And for our techno mages, you have more of an idea of that.
Yeah, it's not even posting. I don't journal by hand on paper. Right, exactly. Most of my notes are in a file of where if I feel like it was, this was the piece that absolutely has to go on paper in a really cool book, but that to me is just an extension, an art piece. You know?
I'm not going to say it. First, I'm not going to say I know. But what I will say is that I respect that you're doing magic.
Right.
I don't have to understand your magic. I just have to respect it. And as an old school, because I'm more at home with a shovel and a mason jar.
Well, but it's still, even then it depends, because sometimes I'll sit and get super creative, right? And I'll be on my computer and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the spell. This is the ritual that I am called, and I'm writing down on my digital paper and putting into a printable so that I can print it and then go into the backyard and do it. But it still took the same amount of energy, it still took the same amount of effort, intentions of what is it that I'm focusing on, what is it that I'm manifesting, what is my focus, all of that, the fun pieces that go into creating a spell. I'm just using, like you said, a different conduit, a different means of delivering the message, but the message still got delivered.
It is. That's where I think a lot of us old school folks is that we're like, oh, I don't understand. How are they posting this on Instagram? Is understanding that it is a conduit.
Yes, it's a conduit, and it does go back to where you are confident within yourself and how you wish to show honor and respect towards the magic that you are doing. Because right. I will say that, no, not everything should be posted on the internet. I've been in the internet long enough to know, yeah, maybe we shouldn't post that picture. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And it goes the same for your spells and rituals. When you know it is private and it is meant for you and only the eyes that you wish to see it, but you still want to capture it, yes, our cameras are readily available. But that doesn't mean it should be accessible. And that is still an individual choice. Like if I am showing admiration, appreciation, and of where I've put a lot of energy and work into a ritual to share with the community, you're darn right I'm posting it.
Well, that's the intention from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
You know that I am going to be putting a picture of this altar on Instagram or whatever content you're doing. And so from the get-go, you're already tapping into that conduit, and each item is placed with the understanding that I am going to create a picture.
Yes, I'm going to tell a story.
Oh, I like that. I'm going to tell a story.
That's what I think it really comes down to. When we're posting on the internet, we're telling a story. And for, you know, me, I'm not going to have my private story on the internet.
Well, it's like you can have people in the living room, but you don't want them in the bedroom.
That's a great way of putting
it. And to think about your magic like that, is this living room magic or is this bedroom magic? Because you're absolutely right. Regardless if you're a techno or if you're old school and more like, how do I post it? Should I post it?
Right.
Is to really understand that it is an individual.
Yeah.
And it's also part of the magic you're creating. If you're creating a very intense private moment between you and divinity, or between you and whatever entities you're working with, you ain't gonna post it. But if you know from the get-go, me and this entity, me and this expression of divinity, we want to put it out into that conduit, the matrix, the internet.
Yes. Some rituals and working with certain deities, energies scream, share me. Literally. Right. But there's still, again, you have to take that personal step back and that personal accountability piece. Because also, let's say you're new, it's the first time that you have done a ritual. Do you share it on the internet? Do you take a picture and share it? Are you breaking the magic? You know, and it's a scary line that when you're asking for feedback and support, as you guys all know, the internet can be extremely mean. And you have to reflect within yourself on what is it that you are seeking and why are you seeking it? Are you seeking justification for your actions before you even did your spell or after? Those are big things. Like, you probably should have been asking those questions before you did the spell anyway, before you go to the internet with a picture of what you did.
Well, that's like if you're looking for validation.
Correct.
You're in the wrong space.
Yes. But if you're looking for guidance and support, you're going to find that. I think, and I've talked with you.
And if you're looking to amplify.
Right. But we talk about this all the time, that the internet is so vast and so infinite that there is a space for you. Yes. No matter who you are, what you yes. believe, you will find your people, you will find where you belong. It is that vast and that infinite. But you have to guide that journey, which is scary too, right? Because it's like, oh my gosh, there's all these options. What do I do? And trial and error, just like it is with doing your first spell, trial and error, and do that with your magic, even in the tech space. It's not an immediate success. It never is. I don't care what you're trying.
Okay, I want to ask you because
questions.
I have questions. I'm like, ooh. All right, okay. I'm going to talk about techno mages and where did I come? Oh, here it is. Techno mages and how they use the internet.
Okay.
Hashtag spells.
Hashtag spells. Okay.
Where each interaction amplifies the energy, making the spell grow stronger.
Oh, I have opinions.
Right, that's why I was like, y'all see what I was like? Okay, I'm gonna ask our Matrix Techno Mage here.
I stand by that. It's still going to go back to what were your intentions. What are you seeking in the tech world, social media world, when you're putting out this image of a ritual? Are you seeking that justification, gratification? Like, where is this place coming from? Because every person who sits and goes like is amplifying your intention. And that's what makes it powerful. So you have to really sit back and reflect. Am I building for the betterment? Am I building a community? Is this spell to gain attraction, to fulfill, giving back? Or is it to fulfill my own self-conscious, seeking that validation of, look, I am doing it right. I got 100 likes. That's not, in my opinion,
that's not right.
Good magic. You're not getting
You're
what
putting
you're
your hashtag
seeking.
out to amplify it, not to justify it or to qualify it or in any way validate it. You already know it's there.
Right. It's like, so if I this is something I personally do every time I'm seeking a job is on my website. I do put in my code what I am seeking
Okay,
for.
you're
in
getting
a
ahead of my questions.
job.
Y'all, she's getting ahead. I got lit. We're on hashtag first.
I know we're on hashtags, but it applies because when you're posting that picture and you're putting hashtag I'm beautiful, are you doing that to feel better about yourself, or are you doing that from a self-empowerment, self-love?
Yeah. And that's a question that only each of us can answer.
Right.
Because, I mean, ideally, we want it to be from that place of self-love, but for many of us, it is
I'm guilty. I
our
post pictures
security.
of I'm pretty,
And so-
please like me.
So I don't want to be standing like, oh, y'all are wrong doing that. Because I'm like, I think we all do. All right, the next one I want to ask you is algorithm manifestation.
Okay.
You're sending a digital spell into the world. Every like or share is another spark of energy fueling your intention.
Yes.
How would
To
you
ride
use...
the wave of the algorithm.
Yes.
So let's say there's a song trending on TikTok, right? And for me, I'm like, oh, that's got a great beat. I'm gonna dance and record it.
Right.
So I'm riding the wave of the algorithm, which is both positive and negative. It feeds my ego of, look, I'm pretty and I'm having fun, but also I'm spreading happiness and of embracing my individuality.
Walking in balance.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, next one I have for you is digital altars. Pinterest boards are Instagram pages dedicated to your practice that serve as a virtual altar.
If you've created a vision board,
Yes.
so you've opened up magazines. What's any different than opening up Pinterest? How is that? I personally, I don't understand how that's any different than me sitting through on my living room floor, going through and wasting so much paper. Just the saying, versus opening up a PowerPoint slide and going, I'm going to accomplish this year.
Well, I think a lot of, especially when we're dealing with our witches and other interesting magical people in the closet, you can't have a physical altar in your space. So you can create this virtual altar, you can create this Pinterest board, you can create this Instagram page that allows you to have the expression of an altar.
Oh, so if we're talking like personal altar space, so I'm living with roommates, I'm in the closet, how do I have a personal altar space? Yeah, I would definitely rely on the internet of contributing, manifesting, feeding, because you can feed a Pinterest board.
Oh, you can definitely feed a Pinterest board.
It's endless of like,
right, I'm like, you can have so much you can find within a Pinterest board.
and then still even be able to bridge between the internet and your physical space to incorporate the energies that you're manifesting here on this Pinterest board for travel, right? Of like, yes, it has all these beautiful pieces and it's very mystical. I can now make sure to bring in aromas that feed my physical, because I do think it still requires physical manifestation.
So there has to be a little bit of physicality, almost like a tag lock, to allow you to expand into the matrix, into the virtual realm.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree with you. It's just, for me, I live so much in the virtual world. My job is virtual.
Right.
That I have to actually remind myself to be physical.
Ooh, good point.
I actually have to practice putting myself back in my body because of living in the matrix, and that even the matrix and my aspect of working with it is a higher conscious source extension of how I'm able to communicate, because it's the world that I live in. So
It is a different world. We live in a multi-dimensional realm, and the Matrix is one dimension.
And so,
or many dimensions.
Is it really surprising then that if you work so much in that realm, that it would also be a way for you to communicate spiritually, but you still have to live presently? You can't take that piece away. I don't care how ingrained you get into.
We still gotta light a candle in physical realm.
You still gotta go touch dirt.
Yeah, you do. I'm all yes. You need to be touching dirt all the time. All right. And with that one, we're going to move on to email spells.
Okay.
The act of hitting send symbolically releases your intention into the cosmos, and that you can even address it to the universe itself.
Yes, I agree with that. I've never done that, but I've written letters of intention, right? Of like future letters to myself. I have done physically. So yeah, I could write an email to myself. I could write an email to the universe to get the message sent.
I just love that. I think that is so creative. I do. I'm fascinated with the technomages. All right, the other one is online tarot and divination. Digital tarot readings, rune casting apps, and online pendulum sessions. There's an app for that.
Okay. So I guess where like immediately is, man, the internet still has individuals with bad intentions, and will prey on people that really are seeking a truth for themselves. And I think it's honestly created such a bad rep. With all of these, if this message found you. Okay? Oh
yeah. Well, they also have. I like one of the tarot apps where you like pick 3 cards.
I'm fine with those.
And I think that's cool. But I get what you're talking about, where these people are like, this message is for you. If you're hearing it, you're special.
It gives me flashbacks to Cleo. Okay.
Miss Cleo. I know you older witches, Miss Cleo used to do tarot cards, and it was all over TV.
And I'm sorry, but she used the same thing of if this is a commercial that was timed and paid for, if it was on your TV and you're seeing it right now,
it's you.
You need to call this number.
But we do have these really cool apps, and I find them to be eerily accurate.
I've used them. I have used the card a day, yes or no.
But it's an app, not where I'm getting sucked down a rabbit hole by somebody who in the end's trying to take my money. These are cute little apps that I like.
Andy on it.
Okay.
Because it's. This is where you shouldn't know technology and be a technology person, is because it's all based off of an algorithm, which comes down to a statistical number, which I guess you could put in a physical space. I'm going down a rabbit hole.
Even when I have this, 78 cards within a tarot deck, I have statistical numbers that are occurring on the rate that I can pull them, and as each card I pull changes the statistical numbers of other cards.
I guess this is where I'm going to say I trust myself more than the app then.
All right.
Because I'm not the one who built the algorithm for them to give me the statistical odds. And that's off-putting for me, personally, just for me.
Right, and that's, again, respecting. If you feel that way, that's what you should honor, whereas somebody else may not feel that way, and that's the right way for them.
I find them I love the fact that you can do it, and then it was great learning resource, especially if you're just starting out with a pick a card a day.
Oh, that is true, because it helps you to sort of
to learn and reflect, and
that would make sense.
I like it from that perspective.
That would make sense. All right, so now that we've talked about all of this with different magics, the question that you ask yourself is, should you share your magic online? And I hope we've given you some thoughts to think on. understanding that sometimes the answer is yes, and sometimes the answer is no.
That's the great thing, is there's actually nothing, there's no infinite truth answer.
No, it's really following.
That's the greatest mystery of life.
I think also it's about stopping for a second and asking yourself, how do I feel about this?
How do I feel about this?
Why?
Why am I doing this?
Yes, why am I doing
Because
this?
anytime I've put my magic in partnership with the internet, I go back to that question: why am I doing this? What is this serving?
Where is my true intent, and not bullshitting yourself on your true intentions.
Because the internet does not play around when it comes to shadow work, though. I will say that.
All your skeletons come crashing out.
Okay? But if you're gonna do magic on bringing forth, true identity, I'm telling you, words matter. Spaces matter.
And also giving that respect to the magical practitioners who choose not to.
Absolutely.
In any way, share, be part of the matrix, that's okay for them. And
if I get invited to an event and you tell me no phone, I'm going to respect that.
Right. Well, a lot of events, I know, here when we have events, we're very mindful of.
We have sessions of okay, this is a camera time.
And who's standing in front of the camera versus those in which aren't.
Right.
And things like that in the community. And to, I think, put that over into your own magic and understanding that something should be in front of the camera and something shouldn't. And
living room. Bedroom.
Right. Is this bedroom magic? And I just need to shut the door, or because we don't want to overshare.
No.
And at the same time, sharing our magic is a way of connecting with others in the magical community. It's a way of connecting to all of those energies that are in the matrix and using them.
Well, I even imagine on an honorable, to honor a spirit or a deity, man, that's got to feed some egos there. And I'm sorry, but if you've worked with deities, you know they got egos. They all do. They like
their pictures on the internet.
Okay, so think about it from that
I
perspective.
I can't argue. I'm sitting here thinking of a couple, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, they would want it shared.
They would definitely want it shared.
Push that one for more likes. I really like this one.
Make sure that the camera is framed up properly, type thing. And that's a good thing. If you have a celebratory altar, and you want to share that, knowing that deity, this is something they would like, then most definitely. But if you're doing, a personal empowerment working, where you're working with some of your own darker insecurities, that's bedroom magic. And you don't share that.
Yeah. Mindfulness is the biggest piece, I think, of... You do have to apply critical thinking to your spellcraft.
No! Not critical thinking.
I'm sorry, I'm saying that as a person who has started things and then realized, oh crap, I asked for this.
I think we all have. I know that, I personally have done some really moments of bad judgment and
bad words, bad wording.
Bad wording.
I don't need more strength. We're good.
Bad judgment.
I don't need more healing. I'm good.
What did I think I was doing?
We're healing. We've healed. Now we're living so that we can have more healing in the future, but we don't have to live here. Okay?
Oh my goodness, I love that. Thank you so much, Ashianna. And I hope this inspires a lot of you other witches and other interesting magical beings when talking about the matrix, the internet, techno magic, and how that incorporates into your own personal practice. And with that, thank you. I hope to see you again. I try to get her to stop by and join me periodically.
I like behind the scenes.
Yeah, getting her out in front of the camera. Of course, I'm going to tell you, make sure you hit that subscribe, that like, and that notify button. And I know a couple of you said the notify button isn't notifying. I try really hard every Saturday morning to upload a video. So look for me sometime on Saturday and Sunday. And of course, if you have a comment or if there's a subject you would like to hear me talk about, please leave it in the comments below. And if you want to know more about me, Ashianna, and the House of Witchcraft, go out to houseofwitchcraft.com, sign up for our newsletter, and that tells you all the wonderful things that we have going on. And with that said, witches, get out there, fly those brooms, have a bright, blessed day. And as always, amen, blessed be, ashe, and a bobo.